everybody, welcome back to 47 and Counting. My name is Bittercup from the 8-Bit Garden, and today I'm here with a little bit of a chatty video. As I said, my name is Bittercup. I use she, her pronouns. I'm a fictive from Fallout 3, and I never front. I am an apparently normal part. I'm a confidence holder, a mood booster. So I don't front much. Our system struggles a lot with really bad feelings, really debilitating feelings that I feel somewhat removed from. I definitely can't lie and say that I don't have any of the symptoms, because I do. I can't say I would just go in there and start doing dishes right now. I definitely don't feel equipped to do that. You heard that bird? I wonder if you heard that bird. Anyway, I don't totally feel equipped to do that. That's not like me being lazy. I don't fully believe in the concept of laziness. It's the mental illness, because something that I feel like goes untalked about sometimes is that even if you're an apparently normal part, you are still disordered. That's what the apparently is for. But I do feel very removed from those feelings and those memories and those traumas. If you ask Castiel, if you ask Virgil, if you ask Nemo their thoughts on certain things, they'd have a lot to say. I don't think I really would. So if you don't know, a fragmented alter, to my knowledge, is an alter who is not fully developed and sorry if you heard my cat, who is not fully developed and usually holds just one or two purposes and roles. But it's not unheard of at all for fragments to front under extremely specific circumstances like myself. And while Charon isn't a fragment, he is a source mate, and unlike him, I need Fallout 3 to be prevalent for me to front. I need to have been playing the game or thinking about the game or watching playthroughs of the game, or my system partner needs to have someone from the Fallout world front or something of the sort. And that's not the immediate ticket to get me to front, but it does help, and I can't really front without it. I'm very attached to my source, and not all fragments are, but I am. So, as I said, our apparently normal parts rarely front, and I wanted to go over some of the outcomes this has on us. Many of us will experience confusion. We often don't really know what's going on in the moment or in the bigger picture, which can lead to disorientation. Did I say that word right? We get disoriented very easily. It very much just feels like kind of being bounced from checkpoint to checkpoint, and it can get very confusing. And that also leads to amnesia, a heightened amnesia. I will forget everything. Anything from what month we're in, to my partner's birthday, to who's fronting. Apparently normal parts, we a lot of us have been doing this lately, but I think the apparently normal part struggle with this the most. We will do this thing where we'll figure out who we are, and we'll know who's fronting, and then we'll forget. And we wouldn't have switched or anything, we just forgot. And we have to figure it out again, and we arrive at the same answer every time, but then we're like, yeah, I forgot. A big thing that is a unfortunate outcome of not fronting ever is I don't really have any real relationships. I obviously have my system partner as a whole, and I'm very close with him and I love him to death, But when it comes to specific one-on-one connections, I don't really have any, both in my system and with his, or with someone outside of our systems. And something I wanted to say is just like, if you are a singlet, or you otherwise can't really relate to what I'm talking about, just imagine if you did not have a single, even kind of somewhat close relationship with anybody. That's kind of how it feels to be a fragment sometimes. This can also lead to identity confusion. As a fragmented alter who is one-dimensional, I don't have a lot going on. I don't have a lot to say about myself. And funnily enough, that's all I can really say on identity confusion. I just don't know a lot about myself, and I get things mixed up, or I'll forget something, or I'll be confused, and it's very frustrating. It can also be hard to tell when it's me in the front. A lot of our alters who rarely front struggle with this, with not being able to easily tell. And that also goes to positive triggers. It's very hard to positively trigger me into the front. It's hard to do it intentionally at all, to be honest with you, and we're a system who's honed that in pretty well. And lastly, we experience large spells of denial. I think that the apparently normal parts are the alters who struggle with denial the most in our system. It's very hard to accept that we're a system and we have the trauma we do when I'm pretty much unbothered by all of it. And then you have other people over here who are like crying on the floor at 4 a.m. So we do have the disorder. It just is hard to feel like I have the disorder. Comparatively to alters in our system like JD, who has his book What's Your Damage, his Heather's Rewrite, or D&D alters who can write that, I pretty much spend my time playing Fallout 3. Or if I don't want to play a Fallout 3, I don't do anything. It's that's another very frustrating part, is not really having anything to do. I would say being a fragment in a DID system to me almost feels like being an NPC that is sometimes gifted sentience, which is a bit confusing because there is a term NPC in DID. You know what I'm trying to say. And if you don't know, that is NPCs are people within the inner world who are not alters and thus are not sentient. Those are NPCs. Anyway, so that might be a bit confusing. I'm not talking about those. It really does feel like, I'm trying to keep up. This whole time I've been trying to keep up with my headmates, and I can't keep up. I can't front. So I wanted to take the opportunity to record a video while I am fronting. A big part of 47 and counting to us is documenting our lives and having something to look back on. And so while I'm here, I wanted to put myself out there, and I'm very excited. I'm excited. I hope that this has made you feel a little more seen if you're a system, or maybe educated you a bit if you're a singlet, or otherwise just I hope you found it helpful. We're gonna have more of these chats coming out. We're gonna hopefully have some stories coming out as well, just talking about some DID related things in our lives. And more vlogs, of course. Alright, well, that is all from me, and I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye!